สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ Welcome to NBT World The Fireside. I'm Benjamin Ruchopagan.
And I'm Warisa Niranat Gomon. Every week we have a fireside chat exploring what's going on in Thailand, diving deep into our latest obsessions.
So in our last episode, we traced Muay Thai back to Muay Boran, the ancient martial art of Siam. And during the Sukhothai and Ayutthaya periods, this was deeply embedded in the royal and military training of soldiers, of warriors, which made it evolve from a battlefield discipline into a public cultural practice when it was introduced to Thai festivals and public demonstrations. We also explored legendary figures like King Sanpet, also known as Prajiad or the Tiger King. And he is credited with the early documentation of different techniques, the Mai techniques in particular. Meanwhile, Nai Khanom Tom, whose stunning performance in Burma led to his recognition as the father of Muay Thai. These are the stories that reflect how the art became intertwined with Thai identity and resilience even.
Now let's move forward a little bit into the current Ratanakosin era and His Majesty King Chulalongkorn the Great or King Rama V. He institutionalized Muay Thai through the establishment of Muay Luang schools and its integration into military education, and it transformed into a national organized discipline. We also examined the technical foundations of Muay Boran, including Mai and Luk Mai, as well as the four regional styles, Muay Lopburi, Muay Khorat, Muay Chaya, and also Muay Tha Sao.
And we kind of found out that you're more of a Muay Khorat person.
Yes.
And I'm more of a Muay Tha Sao person.
Right. So you're the more calm one, I'm more the chaotic one.
Yeah, that's how we described it. You're going to have to see that episode just to know like what we mean. But now that brings us all to the nomination as a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage as a living cultural heritage. In this episode, we move from history into the present, exploring how Muay Thai evolved from a martial tradition just meant for survival to a living national symbol. We'll examine some of the modern practices in Thai boxing as an intangible cultural heritage and unpack how Muay Thai functions as a pillar of Thailand's soft power. So, shall we?
For sure. Now, when we talk about Muay Thai, we're not just talking about a combat sport, but a living cultural system. And at the heart of the cultural dimension is the Wai Kru rำมวย. While international audiences may see it as a ceremonial warm-up within the Thai tradition, it is a formal act of acknowledgement. Now, Wai Kru literally means to pay respect to the teacher, and the ritual expresses gratitude not only to one's immediate trainer, but also to the past masters, ancestors, and the lineage that preserved the art through centuries of war, loss, and revival.
That's right. I think that, it's important to understand that in Thailand, like many other Asian countries, there's a strong tradition of seniority and respect for one's elders. And as we, as cultures globalize, we see this sort of fading to some degree, And I would say, though, that it's embedded in our language even. We have to call someone older P, we have to call someone younger Nong, and it kind of gives us an inherent feeling of not just familiarity, but what the role and what the relationship expects, And you call someone P Nong in every sort of kind of situation, whether or not it's the receptionist at a hotel or it's the it's a server, like a waitress or a waiter. It kind of creates this implicit relationship of what you owe each other. So there's a lot of, respect for one's elders embedded in the language. And there's also more specifically a lot of respect conveyed for one's teachers, regardless of the relationship in terms of age. Now, I don't know if you already knew this, but Thailand also has two other annual holidays for teachers' appreciation. There's National Teachers Day, or Wai Kru, on January 16th, and then there's also Teachers Appreciation Day, or Wai Kru, on the second Thursday of June, totally separate from the Muay Thai Wai Kru.
Right. And within the world of Muay Thai, the Wai Kru răm mวยceremony also reflects core Thai values such as gratitude, humility, discipline, and reverence for knowledge. And according to Rashadamnern Stadium, which is famous as a venue for Muay Thai matches, and it still runs today, you can see fights there all the time. In ancient Siamese fighters, they used to ask for blessings and protection from the monks before battles. Now, this practice gradually evolved into the formalized Wai Kru ceremony. Now, despite Muay Thai transitioning from the battlefield into the boxing ring in modern days, the ritual has remained intact, transitioning from a connection with spirits to a connection with the teachers and trainers. Now, according to the Khru Muay Thai Association, without the Wai Kru, Muay Thai would not be the same and would lack one of the most essential aspects of the art.
Yeah, I think that this specific part of Muay Thai is probably the strongest case or the strongest argument for its value as an intangible cultural heritage. We have the Wai itself, which is an iconic part of Thai culture. We all Wai at the start of the program, you know? So there's also then the deeper tradition of Wai Kru, which actually predates the Wai Kru Muay Thai. So although each fighter's Wai Kru is slightly different, they generally start the same way. There's the entrance into the ring itself, where fighters seal the ring by walking along the perimeter counterclockwise, starting from their respective corners, so they don't bump into each other. Some of the fighters will also use the opportunity to say a prayer, to bless them for the fight ahead. Then they will also pace around the center of the ring 3 times. Then each fighter will kneel, beginning the Wai Kru Ram Mวยsequence.
And traditionally, this dance is divided into 2 main parts. The first one is called Prom Nang, the seated Brahm posture, and the Prom Yun, the standing Brahm posture. The ritual begins with the student formally presenting themselves to the teacher. Kneeling, the students offer the mongkol headband to the Khru and bows. Now, the mongkol headband, as you can see here, it's the kind of ring that goes around your head and has a little tail that comes out. And the teacher then places the mongkol on the student's head, symbolizing acceptance and also blessing. The seated sequence continues with several symbolic movements. There's the panom, which involves kneeling upright and palms pressed together at chest level. The fighter calms the mind and bows 3 times in gratitude to parents, teachers, and sacred forces. There's also the Te Panom, which is a forward bow with sweeping arm motions performed 3 times, symbolizing reverence to sacred energies and the earth. There's also Patom, which is a forward lunge position, which represents readiness and foundational respect. There's the Prom, and it's where the fighters lean towards the controlled circular fist movements, performed 3 times as well. And last but not least, there's the Sot Soimala, which is a weaving arm movement performed while seated low, symbolizing grace and continuity. And I like how it's a format, it's a system, and every time you go watch a Muay Thai, you will see the same sequences over and over. And somehow I think the repetition just makes you feel very close to it because you're very familiar with how the ritual goes.
I do think once you understand the vocabulary of the choreography, that does help to deepen your appreciation of it. And it also gives away when there's any variation to it. When you know what it's supposed to look like, and then the fighter deliberately does something slightly different, you get an understanding of how that is part of their lineage and their signature of their camp, of where they came from and who taught them. So in the second half of the sequence, the fighter rises for the standing sequence and performs directional salutations using the Yang Sam Kum stepping patterns. Facing right, they salute the direction and perform the peacock dance, or Nok Yung Rampan. Facing left, they perform and salute using the Hong Hun, or flying swan. Turning to the rear, they salute and perform symbolic warrior gestures such as the Phra Ram Plaeng Son, or the Rama drawing the bow posture. And the sequence concludes by returning to the front, completing the circuit of all four directions. So we can see that similar to the combat techniques found in Muay Boran, there are references in Ram Mui choreography to animals, to wildlife that they might encounter, in the sort of the traditional way of life, which is very rural and agrarian. And, Thai people traditionally have been farmers, as it's an agricultural country. Then we also have mythological figures or historical battle strategies. So things that are preserved in the lore of Thai warfare or Thai battles. So even beyond all of that, even beyond the performance itself, you can kind of see the practicality of just warming up, stretching your muscles and also getting a feel for the spacing of the ring. Because, there's definitely a chance in the history of Muay Thai bouts that not every single ring was the same size and shape, So if you have to ram muay your way around the ring, if you're pacing around the ring as a warm-up, then you also get a feel for the distance that you have from your opponent and how much room you have to the ring itself. So I think that there's a lot of practicality, spirituality, culture, and performance, entertainment wrapped up in the ram muay.
Right. And it's also important to mention that there's a lot of variation when it comes to the Wai Kru Ram Mui. You'll often see subtle differences that identify a fighter's gym affiliation, functioning almost like a signature, like you just mentioned earlier. And one of that an example of that would be fair text. So for example, you would see like a fighters, they will have their nickname plus the gym, which is like Kun Stamp Fairtex, which is one of the best female fighters in Thai history ever. And in this way, the Ram Mui becomes a living archive of local identity and inherited knowledge.
That's right. I think that's what makes Muay Thai more than just boxing, because there's so many nods and references to Thai culture that it can, if you only had Muay Thai, let's say everything else about Thailand was lost, Muay Thai would still represent, a critical part of the culture. You would already get the Wai, you get the Wai Kru, you get, Thai traditional dance, you get mythology. So you get so much out of Thai boxing, aside from just the boxing. So, of course, you can't just dance without music. The Wai Kru Ram Mui is performed to the Sarama, a traditional Thai music piece that was played in royal Siamese courts. Now, according to the Muay Thai brand Yok Khao, its hypnotic, otherworldly rhythm contrasts with the explosive action of Muay Thai fights, creating a powerful atmosphere that defines the sport. The juxtaposition of serenity and violence is what makes Muay Thai unlike any other martial art. Now, the music is performed by up to 4 musicians. Instruments include Pii Chawa, or the Javanese oboe. Now, while the name suggests that it came from the Indonesian island of Java, it also resembles the Indian Shanai. We also have the glong kak, or the Indian drums. This is a pair of lace drums with each drum assigned a male or female gender. What's interesting is that the male drum has a smaller surface and produces a higher pitched sound than the female drum, which is wider and has more bass. Which really, you would think it'd be the other way around, right? Generally, there are 2 musicians playing 2 pairs of drums. So that's 3 musicians so far. And finally, we have the ching, or finger cymbals. These are used to keep time and melody. So that's 4 musicians, generally. You can have more depending on the size of the fight.
Right. And it's interesting that it's always kind of the same music being played during these ceremonies, which is not something that I would think. I thought that you would kind of switch it up sometimes.
I do think that because it's specifically something used in royal Thai courts in in Siamese history that you're going to find there is a reverence for that. They're referring to the role it used to play. And I'm sure that there's all kinds of music that comes after the Sarama. And, and there are other kinds of, like, when you introduce fighters, they have their own fight theme that comes on and everything. But I do like that it's the Sarama and the traditional Thai music that sort of anchors what this is and what this used to be, the role it used to play.
Right. And of course, we mentioned this earlier, but we can't forget the mongkol and prajiad. Now, the mongkol is one of the most sacred objects in Muay Thai tradition. Historically, it is handcraft within the camp by the Muay Thai master, woven from rope and cloth and blessed by monks before being passed down to fighters. So the mongkol represents lineage, protection, and the authority of the teacher. Now, in some accounts, mongkons were said to contain highly personal relics, which are fragments from an ancestor's bones or strands of a loved one's hair, though more commonly they're kind of adorned with amulets nowadays. Mm-hmm. And while commercially produced mongkons are widely available today, many traditional Thai camps continue the practice of weaving and blessing them internally, preserving the ritual dimension of the object.
I think, when a camp's reputation is on the line, you'll do anything to, like, give you that edge. Thai people, they are very mutelu. They're whether or not they like to admit it, they love blessing, and they love the sort of the process of, luck. They really believe in fortune and good luck, bad luck. So this all sort of ties deep into, the sort of belief structure of Thailand, I think. And, knowing how deep it is today, even if it's commercially available, this isn't just merch, right?
No, it isn't. It sure isn't. And the origins of mongkol can also be traced to ancient Siamese warfare, when soldiers tied cloth around their heads and recited Buddhist prayers before they went into battle.
That's right. So complementing the mongkol are the armbands, which are known as prajiad, like you said earlier. Like the headpiece, the prajiad carries symbolic protective power rooted in times of war. Traditionally, fabric was torn from the mother's garment and tied around her son's arm before he left for battle. So there is such a heartfelt, history to it. And it's not something that's necessarily mysticized. It's just a very sort of universal mother caring about her child. And, for me, I always thought it just looked cool.
Right.
So today, the prajiad is made from cloth, rope, or a combination of materials that are worn on one or both arms, usually both, I think. Unlike the mongkol, which is removed before the bout begins, the prajiad remains throughout the fight. As Muay Thai expanded globally, some foreign gyms have adapted the prajiad into ranking systems that resemble belt hierarchies that you see in other martial arts. Like in Taekwondo or in Judo, all those sort of Eastern martial arts, you're going to see the white belt, the yellow belt, brown belt, etc. So because Muay Thai actually doesn't have any kind of ranking system like that, they've created one. And for me, either or, I think it's, I'm not really a proponent necessarily of, artificially creating something where it didn't used to exist. But at the same time, I can understand the need to reward somebody's progress in their journey, right? According to Muay Thai Citizen, like Western boxing, the sport of Muay Thai does not confer ranks to an athlete, but lets the fight records speak for themselves. So in Muay Thai, isn't that good? So in Muay Thai, you have to get in the ring if you want to rank up.
Right. And quite frankly, if I could say anything at all, the white belt, black belt system, it's sometimes quite subjective as well. So even though somebody has, let's say a black belt, they can still lose to, say, a blue belt.
Right.
So I prefer personally the Muay Thai system that why don't you just show us what you got, how many wins you've won, and then you're like the real.
Then we know.
Yeah, then
you're
we
the
know.
real deal.
So both the mongkol and prajiad are considered sacred objects and must be treated with respect. They should never be dropped, stepped over, or handled carelessly. These are actually artifacts of the martial art that bind the fighter to teacher, family, and tradition.
I love that. So now let's talk a little bit practically speaking. We're stepping away from the culture of Muay Thai. If any of this has, made you want to learn Muay Thai in the country, there are other visas specifically for, training in Muay Thai. Beyond the standard tourist visa, there's two visa categories worth considering. The first is the non-immigrant ED or education visa, which is commonly referred to as the student visa. This category applies to individuals that are enrolling in short courses. So whether it's Thai or English language, these are certified Muay Thai training programs. Applicants are required to provide the biodata page of their passport, a recent photograph, a proof of current location, financial evidence covering the tuition and living expenses, a letter from a relevant authority under Thailand's Ministry of Education or an organization such as the Sports Authority of Thailand in this case, an official enrollment confirmation letter from the Training Institute signed by an authorized representative. So this visa is issued as a single entry. You can't just go and come back and leave whenever you want. It's a single entry with a validity of 3 months, though. So you can stay in Thailand for up to 3 months, though extensions may be possible inside Thailand depending on the program.
Right. So this is more for the hardcore people who really want to train Muay Thai. I think like once you're here, you just train Muay Thais religiously for 3 months. But the second option is called the Destination Thailand Visa, or for short, it's called the DTV visa. And it's introduced to support Thailand's soft power strategy. This visa is designed for individuals participating in workation. And this is similar for people who want to do Thai cultural programs, which obviously include the Muay Thai training. Requirements are quite similar, except that you need financial evidence of at least 500,000 baht in funds and also a proof of confirmation to attend the activity or letter of appointment from hospital or medical center. Now, the DTV offers multiple entry privileges and is up to 5 years. So you can go in and out of the country, making it significantly more flexible for long-term engagement.
So in my opinion, like you said that, the shorter one is for hardcore. I think that I would say that you could be hardcore on both visas, but I think the shorter one is more like intensive. Like if you can only come here for 3 months, yeah, you're going to train the whole 3 months if that's the purpose, right? DTV, like for 5 years, I mean, I can understand somebody who is really serious about Muay Thai, wanting to come here for 5 years to really immerse themselves in the training, because I'm not sure how much you would get out of 3 months unless it was really intensive and every day like that. But yeah, I think that the DTV, I mean, it's a more recent visa, so it's very generous in my opinion. But yeah, that threshold of 500,000 Thai baht, that's the only thing. So of course you should definitely check, with the Thai embassy in your country. Visa requirements can vary country to country and according to the consular jurisdiction. So always consult the Thai embassy or consulate general website of your jurisdiction for the most up-to-date documentation requirements.
Right. Thank you for that. And now we turn back to our audience. Do you enjoy the cultural aspect of Muay Thai, or are you purely into the combat aspect?
Let us know in the comment section of NBT World's online channels. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Spotify.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
During Her Majesty Queen Sirikit the Queen Mother's royal visit to the northern provinces of Thailand, Her Majesty graciously learned of the many hardships faced by local villagers, particularly their lack of occupational knowledge and access to adequate food sources for daily living. Deeply concerned for their well-being, Her Majesty expressed her royal wish to improve the quality of life of the people. Guided by this vision, Her Majesty graciously initiated the establishment of a model farm, a center for agricultural training. The first of these farms was established in 1997 at Ban Khun Tat, Jom Thong District, Chiang Mai Province. The model farm project under the Royal Initiative was created to provide employment and improve living standards for rural communities. The project encourages villagers to pursue stable occupations and earn reliable incomes to support their families. It also promotes raising native livestock and sustainable food sources and emphasizes the conservation of natural resources to preserve ecological richness for future generations. Furthermore, the project serves as a center for agricultural education, research, and technology transfer. In addition, Her Majesty Queen Sirikit the Queen Mother sought to extend assistance to those affected by the 1997 economic crisis, particularly individuals who had lost their employment. To provide them with sustainable opportunities, Her Majesty graciously commanded the expansion of the Model Farm project to other provinces across all regions of Thailand, now covering more than 17 locations nationwide. On the auspicious occasion of Her Majesty's birthday anniversary on August 12, 2002, Her Majesty delivered a royal address to well-wishers who came to offer their birthday facilitations at Dusit Dalai Hall, Jitlada Villa, Dusit Palace. In part, Her Majesty stated, quote, "I once thought that if each country could increase its food production, it would greatly help prevent famine in the future. That is why I initiated the Model Farm project. Moreover, when villagers came to me and said they had no work, and even after finishing their studies, they could not find employment, I allowed them to work at the model farms. At the same time, they learned the correct methods of raising livestock. And when they left, they could use that knowledge to raise their animals properly and sustainably." End quote. The model farm project under the Royal Initiative at Ban Khun Tat, Jom Thong District, Chiang Mai Province, has successfully created livelihoods and sustainable food sources for its residents in Doi Gao sub-district, as well as for residents of nearby communities. The project has also revitalized the local ecosystem through reforestation with native rattan species, the construction of mixed and semi-permanent check dams, and watershed rehabilitation efforts. These initiatives have restored the moisture balance of the surrounding forests and created sustainable water sources for household consumption and agriculture. Today, more than 800 households benefit from these resources, living in harmony with nature and in accordance with Her Majesty's enduring vision of self-reliance and well-being.